Man, you see, I'm crying.
Starting to get harder to talk.
That one was tough.
That one was tough.
This isn't gonna go well for me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Hot Ones. I'm Zach Wadley, and today I am joined by Mr. Jason Varner, the director of the Peace and Conflict Transformation Program. Thanks for coming today, Jason.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
A big year for PACT on
Indeed.
campus, and we're gonna get into that and unpack that a little bit here through the 10 questions.
Unpacked.
Yeah,
Well
there you go, there you
Appreciate
go.
that.
But if you've watched the show, you know the drill. We've got 10 wings. We're gonna get hotter as we go. The questions are gonna get hotter as we go. How are we feeling here at the start?
I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
When you see the color of these bad boys.
Well, I did the smell test, and I singed a nostril. I'm nervous.
So we're off to a good start here. Let's dive right in. First wing here. Nothing too crazy. Just the old classic. Okay. Let's get after it.
That's good.
Are you a spicy food guy or? Not really.
No, I mean, I'm like a medium when I order Thai food and they ask me the spice level of my pad Thai. I'm like medium.
Okay.
Same with wings.
Let me ask you this. So, I was doing a little preparation for this. I read that your grandmother was one of the first students in Morrison Hall.
That is the legend.
Yeah. So with that knowledge,
yeah.
when did you know, like, I'm going to AU? Because it sounds like it was in your blood.
It was. My family. The challenge of the show is the heat. It's the talking with your mouth full, knowing when to talk.
Right.
We would come here every, basically the Church of God had camp meeting here. My mom and dad are both ordained ministers in the Church of God. So it's kind of a family thing. They met here on campus.
Yeah.
My grandmother had gone here, most of my aunts and uncles. But I remember we would camp at the campgrounds even for homecoming.
Oh,
And
wow.
I grew up around near Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we'd come on down and so like homecoming, walking through the luminaries and all of this, that was kind of an introduction. I thought, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were destined to come here after here.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's super cool, man. And we'll get into a few other things of your role here at AU.
I already had to break out the water.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Man.
Stay with it. We're going to number 2 now.
That has a little tingle. I'm not gonna lie. The classic.
Yeah.
That's hotter than like.
Like it's higher than Frank's Red Hot.
It's hot. It's
you know?
hotter than.
You wouldn't find that in the MP.
I wanted to convey that to our viewers.
It's not gonna just be lying around in the MP.
No.
Now we're doing Holla Peppa for number 2.
Okay. Holla Peppa.
A little jalapeno-based hot sauce. Okay. As I'm reading your story, one of the coolest things I thought is the period of time that you spent in Scotland. I mean, not a lot of people actually get to live in another country. You were able to do that. What was the best part about that experience? And what was like the hardest change for you living over there?
The best part. I think was just the. I'd never lived somewhere overseas. I'd visited a lot, and there's a break that happens probably 4 months in, where you get past the homesickness. For me, it hit really hard 3 months in or so, and I hated it. And everything's different, and not everything, but the hard part with Scotland is they speak your language, supposedly.
Right.
You know, and everything is close enough to normal that when there's a variation on the theme, it feels frustrating. You're like, oh, come on, like this, you're not doing it right, you know.
Right.
And then also, I was pretty easy to spot as an American, and that I always stuck out in some ways. But the best part though was just that particular country, man, is just it's beautiful. I was afraid it would be cloudy every day, and there were always clouds in the sky, but there was always a moment or two of sunshine. It was just really nice, and you could hike everywhere and being outdoors. And people even golf in the winter there.
Wow.
They get these little AstroTurf patches that they hang on their golf bags.
Okay.
You're not allowed to hit off the ground in the winter. You pull your golf ball up, put it on the AstroTurf, and hit off of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, they'll play in the rain.
Wow.
If it's snowing, they'll play. It's ridiculous.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So, did you do any Trieste trips or anything when you were
I
here?
did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing that kind of maybe sparked your
Yeah.
desire to go over there. And then
Yeah.
why did you go over to Scotland? For those who don't know.
Yeah, so for me, I did Trieste, went to Greece
Okay.
and Guatemala. And what really got me to go to Scotland, I'd never been there in my life. In fact, I'd never seen the school. I applied to the University of St. Andrews for my master's work and PhD, and got in and just took it as a sign that that's where I was supposed to be.
Wow.
Packed up my bags, man. Never been there.
That's faith.
Oh, it was faith. I flew into Aberdeen, Scotland. Didn't know
Man.
anything. Ended up finding my way took a cab to the train station, bought a ticket, and took the train 2 hours through the Scottish Highlands, essentially along the coast.
Wow.
To St. Andrews, and that's what drew me. But what I loved was this idea that their education system is a little more self-driven, and so it allowed me to kind of hit the ground running, and it was challenging. It pushed me, but that's what I was looking for.
Cool.
Quite honestly.
That's awesome. That is a really cool
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Have you been back since?
I tend to go back about once a year, although with COVID,
Yeah.
that's
true.
put a stop on that. I'm going back this summer, do some hiking with friends there.
Cool.
And to check in with the church that I was a part of.
Awesome.
That was really impactful.
I think that's cool. Long-term relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 3 here. Cantina Royal Tomasa, a spicy habanero and manzano chile hot sauce.
Where's that one from?
Let's see here. Intensely spicy, just one drop.
Okay.
It doesn't say where it's
Okay.
from.
All
but
right, here we go.
It just says Brooklyn, New York. Not where you'd expect.
Not at all.
But I think this one's good.
All right,
So-
let's do it. You've had all these? These are the same ones as before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you're-
it kind of stinks because
Okay.
I kind of know, like,
I didn't know if you
like
guys
when
changed
my
it up.
day will head south. You know?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
That's good.
This is a hypothetical question, just to get to know you better.
This is gonna get bad.
It is going to get bad. I put maybe a little too much
That's spicy, man.
here. Whoa. So, here's a hypothetical question.
Go for it.
President Pistol walks in your office. He says, hey, I'm giving you Thursday and Friday off. You've got a long weekend. How do you spend your long weekend? If, like, money wasn't an object, you could do whatever you wanted over those 4 days, what would you go do? I'm sure this happens to you all the time.
Yeah. And money,
President Pistol says, hey.
right. Especially the money is no object
Yeah,
too. Like
right.
that's just how I live, right? It's no object because it's literally not an object in my life.
Right. Kids,
I
you're
don't have
gonna
any.
want to grow up and be the director. That's where it's at.
College professing.
Yep.
It's the way forward. If I had just the long weekend, I've got a buddy who has a place in Tennessee, off a reservoir. They bought a camper and put it down there, and it's right off I-75. About a 6-hour drive. I think I'd head down there, man, and get some hiking in and just kind of get away. And this won't come as a surprise. I like to read books. I do it for a living. Probably take a few books and just go off grid, get away.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. What do we think? It's good tasting.
It really is good tasting.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little hot, like not spicy, just like hot. And
Here's
that's
what I always
3
like
in.
to ask. Most people have been to Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, what sauce do you get there?
I like the spicy garlic.
Okay. That's decently up the heat
Yeah.
meter there, so we know what you're about.
That's as far as I can go.
Okay. Number 4, Los Calientes Barbacoa. This is a Hot Ones actual sauce here.
All right.
So,
Where'd you guys find these sauces? I know that's not on your list of questions, but
it's from the actual show.
oh
You
my
can go on their
gosh.
website, you can buy the pack, and or you could just buy an individual. So if you're really
That's
interested in one of these at the end of it,
Man,
go
we're
to
putting a
their site.
plug in.
Yeah, right.
Right there. That's product placement. Oh, by the way, I'm lactose intolerant. This is my other product placement.
Sponsored by
I
Silk.
demanded silk almond milk just in case things got really bad. It's in my contract.
I would say about Wing 7, you'll be cracking that open. Okay, Here's a deep question for
All
you.
right, love it.
Yeah. You've been around AU. You're a student. You have worked here in various capacities. What is AU's greatest strength as an institution?
This kind of puts me in a place here that may or may not be helpful given the venue. But I just wrote a chapter for a book that essentially seeks to, it's a book that's going to be coming out about the campus. The Lilly Foundation funded a grant that helps us tell our story. And so I wrote a chapter for that where I went into our archives here and spent some time just asking that question essentially. And like, so I'm primed for this one.
There you go.
But I think the tension historically, we often avoid tension.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a thing these days. But actually that tension has been a strength for us over the years. And the tension is between two impulses, one to holiness, and usually that means getting away from things, right? Or separating oneself from things that aren't good for us. But the other one is unity. And I think that impulse brings us back together. So we have this tension between wanting to be set apart, but also together. And so the paradox of being set apart together, you're not gonna find that particular, most colleges will really err on one side or the other.
Sure.
Embracing everyone or withdrawing totally, for instance, into a cornfield in the middle of Indiana where there might be other Christian universities. But we've positioned ourselves in the heart of a city, small city, but a city.
Right.
And we've positioned ourselves theologically and ideologically in a tension that's uncomfortable. And yet, I think that gives us, that tension also provides some of the energy that's made us good. And I think our future depends on us not trying to live with the tension, but be fueled by that tension.
That's really good. And I could ask a follow-up, but actually I think
Dude,
I've got one later that,
that
I think we can touch on that a little bit more, but I think that's a really good way to answer that question. I think a lot of people would agree. I cannot reach it anymore, but if you want to check out number 5 here, this one right here. High Desert Tikhat Masala from Tucson, Arizona.
Okay. Do you guys have like the heat unit index on these?
Some of them do, and they're like all of them are like all the way up at the top. So.
Oh, okay. So at this point, it's
yeah, this one you just hot. You know.
Okay.
So you're halfway through after this one here.
After this one.
Yeah.
It smells spicy.
Okay. It's time for a game.
Love it.
The game is, can you name every building on campus by its proper name? So we'll start.
Okay.
Well, which side do you want to start on?
Let's go this way.
Okay. So are we starting in the back then?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
What do we have over there?
The Kardasky Wellness Center.
There it is.
Or the Don Brandon Field.
True, I didn't even think about athletic
really
field,
going
so
back.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with the Kardasky Wellness Center. You have the Lillian Smith Hall, Memorial Hall.
Wow, first name. I wasn't even going to make you do first names. Amazing.
Martin, maybe Earl Martin?
I think you're right.
Hall. Rice Hall, I don't know.
No,
I
don't
and
know
who
that
does? It's no longer
R.I.P.
being used,
Rice.
but yeah. The Sethard P. Dunn Memorial Hall,
Nailed it.
founded in 1954.
And your former home.
In my former home, that is true. Man, you see, I'm crying.
Starting to get harder to talk.
That one was tough.
That one was tough.
This isn't gonna go well for me. I'm staring those down and realizing I'm in real
They
trouble.
only get darker red as you go.
All right.
See, now it's hard to focus on.
It is the boys' house next to that. This is it's like Navy SEAL training.
Yeah.
You put me in an uncomfortable
Gotta
place.
focus.
And, Boys' house, Byram Hall, Granite Fine Arts Center,
Nailed it.
the York Performance Hall. The other side of Granite Fine Arts. What did I miss? Oh, the Russell Olt Student Center.
Nailed it.
We are in the School of Theology and Christian Ministries. Miller Chapel sits above us.
Yep.
The Wilson Wilson Library is to our right. Wilson Library and Nicholson Library is to our right.
Got both of the libraries.
Yep.
Well done.
Yep, we've got, I guess I'm just gonna keep going this way.
Might as well.
Oof. Campus Ministries House has been dedicated more recently to, it's called the Morrison House.
Yep.
Thanks to a generous donation from the Morrison family.
Yes.
Myers Hall, Morrison Hall, Reardon Auditorium,
Yep.
Decker Hall, Hartung Hall,
Yep.
a lot of halls.
Uh-huh. We've got one across the street over there.
That's where you guys reside, right?
Yes.
The Falls School of Business.
Yes. Inside Hardacre Hall.
There you
go.
I didn't
go.
play that one very well, did I? Inside Hardacre Hall, yes. Yeah, did I get them all?
I think we've got one more over here, and it's just, I might need some help. It's just health services.
I don't know. Fair Commons.
Fair Commons.
Yeah.
We didn't get all the way over
York
there.
Seminary Village, Fair Commons. Yeah, that's
We can
embarrassing.
still shout out South and Terra.
South
even though,
and Terra East.
Yep.
Yes, we can do that.
That was pretty good though. For bonus points,
Okay.
you did say Kardatsky Wellness Center.
Yep.
There are technically 2 other structures connected.
Yeah.
Can you name them by their proper names?
The O.C. Lewis Gymnasium and the Bennett Natatorium.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And there's a floating dance studio that's a bubble behind
Yes.
it. I don't know if it has a name.
Yes. And for another bonus point, next to Hardacre Hall is a small
Yep.
building. Can you name who
That
it's
is
it's
the
cabin?
Barney Warren Cabin.
Wow, he's
named
good.
after Church of God hymn writer Barney Warren. It used to reside at a campground in Michigan, and the
Yes.
Church of God Historical Society took it upon themselves to dismantle it, put it on a truck, and bring it down and reassemble it. It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
It is.
except it's here on campus. It leans on purpose.
Another bonus point, last one. This is
Love
a
it.
pretty
Love
easy
trivia.
one. Campground,
Yep.
big empty space, the
Indeed.
building that used to sit there.
Oh man, that was the Warner Auditorium. At one time, the largest freestanding concrete dome in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records.
I like how you just answered trivia with
I
more
like trivia, man.
Yeah.
Well, reading Wings, I feel like I'm at B-dubs, like playing trivia or something.
That was good. And then last but not least, I think we do, I don't remember if you said it or not, the Broadcast House. Got to give them a shout out.
Does that have a name?
I think it's just the
the Broadcast
Broadcast
House.
Blackbird Media Lab.
Yeah, there you go.
You did a fantastic job.
Appreciate you.
Okay, well done. Let's go to number 6 there, that yellow one
Okay.
right there. It's Ginger Goat. A little
Okay.
weird. But the questions are going to start getting hotter
Yeah, well, you know what?
as your
I can tell.
your face gets a little hotter here. Okay, so you are director of the PAC program, but
Indeed.
also the assistant professor of the history of Christianity. So, when you look at your role as a professor, what would you say your goals are in that role? You know, what do you want your students to take from your class and then apply to their life once they leave here?
Well, my goal really came out of reading a book. Might not be surprised. It's actually a philosophy book. It dates, I believe, from the 70s, called Legislators and Interpreters
Okay.
by a guy named Bauman.
Okay.
But he was so ahead of his time. I mean, personal computers were just starting to be developed, and he hypothesized that the experts of the future, and we're living in the future, would need to stop worrying so much about being the holders of information, the legislators,
Okay.
deciding what people should or shouldn't know, and needed to take more interest in learning to be the interpreters of information.
Okay.
And with the data explosion that's happened since then, I mean, exponential.
Sure.
And I tell my students all the time that Wikipedia has whole libraries, essentially, on it. So we're no longer in a position where information is scarce.
Right.
But the paradigm's changed to where we're in a position where we're so inundated with information that it's impossible to know what's what. And so
Yeah.
the experts of today, I think, really have to take it seriously to be interpreters, to help people negotiate the pools of data that they're bombarded with all the time. So I see myself primarily as someone who stays a step ahead or tries in terms of assessing the data and help students develop the skills necessary to negotiate these things.
Sure.
And that's I think the crux of where we're at. We're no longer arming people for trivia.
Right.
So when I teach church history, I'm much less interested in their ability to remember the date that Charlemagne was crowned Holy Roman Emperor, as I am being able to talk about the web of events that happened connected to that event.
Yeah.
And that helps them put data together.
Yeah, because I would think your class is probably mostly based on, if you're talking about the history of Christianity, you're probably mostly based on fact, correct? Like when you guys are in class, you're looking at...
I'm telling or stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the hard thing about the internet is anybody now can share an opinion. They can pose it as fact. I mean, have you seen that continue to change as we continue to have more social media and things like that? I mean, have you seen a change from, let's say the time you were a student to now, how much do you think has changed in that realm?
From the time I was a student, I mean, even the availability of resources or the expectation, even for my students at the undergraduate level, they have, I don't even know, 10 times more, 20 times more at their disposal in terms of even academic research.
Sure.
There are dissertations from every major university available for them if I assign a particular topic. And if you want to become a master in something, to keep up and you're not going to get to everyone's stuff. So you just have to do your best to learn how to quickly assimilate and differentiate.
Yeah.
And so, I've seen, I think that's a major challenge for our students. And that's not even talking about pop culture and some of the other things that they're expected to be conversant in. And no longer, we don't ask anymore, what are you watching on Netflix? We now ask, first of all, which app do you like the best and which shows? Or they might mention a show and you're like, what app's that on? And sometimes you're like, really? I didn't even know that was a thing, you know?
Right. Someone's paying $5 a month for it, though.
Exactly. and sharing their passwords.
Exactly.
Apparently.
Exactly. All right, we got 4 left.
Listen, that one wasn't as bad as the one before it.
No.
I'm going to go on the record and say that.
No.
That
Number 7 here, though.
Pleasant surprise.
We're getting red here.
Okay, that could be trouble.
I can't reach it, but it's right there.
Yeah, I got this.
Hotter than L.
Hotter than L. The problem with that is L was the name for God or a god in the ancient Mesopotamian world, which puts me in a place of real blasphemy here.
You just dropped some trivia.
That's what you get for inviting a professor.
Yeah, right. Well then, hey, let's just find out.
All right. Indeed. Oh gosh.
We got number 7 here.
That one's gonna get me.
You can smell the heat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like little beads of napalm.
Oh man.
Resting on my tongue.
Okay. We've been talking about the PAC program, but it's now time to really talk about the PAC program. First things first. I think it's something that probably everybody's heard about. I mean, in chapel, you have speakers that come in, but what is the PAC program? What is the PAC program's mission?
An endowment was started, I should say, from a group of these people within the Church of God to make sure that the processes of peace and conflict transformation would always have a place here at AU. And so what we try to do is honor that vision. We look at it in 4 ways. Because I think real peace, it takes work. And not just lip service work. We're talking about intellectual, ideological, emotional work. Peace hits us in so many different levels.
Sure.
And so what we talk about is that if you don't hit them in kind of the spheres that we address, you might leave something. So peace with God, peace with yourself. I know a lot of people who are fighting for world peace but can't stand to look in the mirror, or peace with a neighbor. And that could be family members, your friends.
Sure.
Again, you want justice in Syria, but you hate the person next door.
Yeah.
That's not a foundation for lasting peace.
Sure.
So, and then finally the other one is the other. And the other is just anyone who comes from a different walk of life, a different place, maybe a different ethnic background, someone who believes differently politically from you. And so these are people that, that represent that outer sphere. But real peace, the kind that actually transforms, we believe addresses all 4 of those levels.
Yeah.
So that's what we're after, man. Whatever it looks like, on the athletic field, classroom, dorms, trias trips, that's what we want to be about.
Awesome.
How
Okay.
you doing, man? 'Cause how do you do this every time?
I don't know. Well, you're talking. I usually just kind of sit here and just think about how hot my tongue is, and I start kind of twitching a little bit. You know?
Yeah, that one got me real good.
It's not gonna get easier.
It's not.
The next one's called the bomb. So.
Okay.
So, this one's number 8.
I didn't really think through what I was doing when I said yes, did I?
No.
No.
But you're crushing it right now. If you can just
Thanks,
make
man.
it 3 more, you know.
I appreciate it. That milk's coming out after this one.
Woo! Okay.
Here,
so
let me replace that.
this is the bomb, number 8. All right.
I hope the questions don't get much harder, because to think critically is getting difficult.
Just you wait. Okay. So you probably already kind of touched this. I think you touched it from more of a broader sense. But how do you see the PACT program positively impacting AU's campus? So
Yeah.
I guess if, we do what you just said in the last answer, how do you see that helping this campus as a whole?
Well, I think we're living in a time that's maybe more divided than any in recent history. I mean, you hear people coming up through the 60s and 70s that say, like, this is, in some cases, this is worse. And so for people that have lived through that to say that, that's a little alarming. But again, it's not just on the political level.
Sure.
We're having a hard time with each other. We're having a hard time with ourselves. Like, my pastor actually just preached in a sermon on loneliness and said that actually he had just read a study where the average high schooler, when they fill out anxiety studies, is exhibiting the same level of anxiety as someone in a psychiatric hospital was in the 1950s.
Wow.
Like, that's a data-driven
Sure.
parallel that's alarming. So
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning and you're less at peace to start the day, and then you interact with all kinds of things. We're moving so fast, the amount of data we're having to sort through and process, it really is alarming.
At a younger age, too.
Exactly, man, at a younger age. So I think right now the question society is asking is there a way forward? How can we do this better? And is division like necessary, essentially? Is it what we're stuck with? And so I think because it's the question society is asking anyway, it's nice to be in a program that is designed to kind of get people talking.
Right.
And we don't have the answers to this.
Yeah.
Not wholly, but to get people talking. And then our approach is to try to get PACT involved in every level of campus. So it's not a top-down thing or, hey, come listen to us. It's how can we find ways and things you're already doing to kind of grow peace where you are. So
That's
that
great.
one, man, that one didn't really get me bad, but I
Yeah.
noticed I started sweating. So it didn't affect my mouth,
Yeah.
but it affected the rest of my body.
Yeah.
That's next level.
Now I'm gonna warn you on this one. So Erin, 'cause
Okay.
she's not even here now for the filming of
Yeah.
this. She helped sauce the wings, and she said on number 9 that she poured way too much in there.
Oh,
so
Thanks,
it's-
Aaron.
It's really red. And you can
Are
see
ours
it.
sauced to the same extent?
Yeah, they are sauced to
Okay.
the same extent. So,
Okay.
so however much you suffer, I'll be right there with you, my friend. And
All right.
I've got an easier question for
Thank
you here
goodness,
before we get
man.
to the big one on number 10.
Yeah.
So, it's Scorpion Disco.
That's what this is called?
That's what it's called.
That sounds delightful.
Hold on, I gotta get a drink before I even. I gotta collect my thoughts. Okay, number 9. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Ooh, I can smell the spicy vinegar coming off that thing.
it's a lot of sauce.
There is a lot of sauce.
It's It's in my nose.
I have a red beard. You can't tell what's going on. I mean, it's gonna be with me all day.
Oh man, don't go too hard. You're about to go really hard on number 10. So, okay. Wow.
That's hot, man.
Hey, thanks, Aaron.
I'm a slow eater.
Oh my gosh.
She's like nibbling the heat.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a member of the Rock Bottom Boys.
Of Madison County.
Of Madison County.
Not to be confused with those clowns, the Rock Bottom Boys in California.
Oh, so there isn't. I always wondered why Madison County got attached.
Yeah, we didn't want to get sued.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. So you're a member of the band.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow. How did you get into bluegrass music? Because I got to tell you, I don't come across people every day that are into bluegrass music.
oh man, you're not living well.
I know 2 people. You and Trent Palmer. Yeah.
Both of whom are in the band. My dad's side of the family's from West Virginia,
Okay.
so I did grow up hearing a lot
Country
of
roads.
country.
Take me home.
Exactly. We'd sing that a fair amount. Bluegrass music, and then just Americana stuff. Johnny Cash, obviously John Denver.
Yes.
And yeah, so I got some sauce on near my nose.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
actually
wipe
burning
that
the
off.
outside of
You're
my
just gonna keep
face.
breathing it in.
Oh my word. Oh, ice and milk. Yep. I'm trying to beat this without the help of performance enhancing items. Yeah, so got into it really by family, and then my mom is a musician, played guitar, and was a choir director. And ever since we were little, she taught us. We had to have an instrument. And she taught me to sing harmony by the time I was in kindergarten, so that we could sing as a family at church.
Oh,
So we had a little quartet going.
nice.
Yep, and we would sing at churches and different things, and we get a little money. And I'm sure my parents kept the majority.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But my brother and I got a little kickback, and so I just always loved that style.
Yeah.
Man, that is hot.
It is.
It's like residual heat.
No need to work out today. You've already sweated out.
Thanks. I'm glad this is a fresh bottle. So yeah, man, that's how I got into it.
And you guys are pretty active as a band. You guys do a lot of shows.
We do. We did way more prior to COVID, obviously. But we're getting back into it. We've got some things coming up, and we've got 2 albums out now, and working on writing some music for a 3rd.
Cool.
Yeah.
Facebook, Rock Bottom Boys in Madison County, right?
RBB, yep, RBB MC.
Like them on Facebook, follow along.
All right.
But okay, normally what we do on the 10th one is that we dab it up. Little extra on there,
Okay.
if you're up for it.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I mean-
Have at it, my friend.
At this point, you're not doing it, huh?
No, I'm doing it. I'm
Okay.
just saying you go first.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, just a little bit. A little something extra to prove the toughness.
I don't really have any of that.
I lost it all on About Wings 7.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it really is uncomfortable.
Now, I will say this too. I was saying Brian Martin had it hard. Brian Martin also put the dab on the wing and then took his finger and rubbed it all over the wing.
I see you, Brian
A
Martin.
crazy move. And
No, I
he
gotta-
handled it. It was amazing. Okay.
I feel like it's like when spring hits and the sinuses go nuts,
Yeah.
except I'm also eating fire.
One more time.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Cheers. Wow.
There it is. All right, with your brain burning, your mouth on fire, the last few years,
Yeah.
they've been pretty turbulent
Indeed.
on a national level here.
True.
When you consider everything that we've gone through and everything that these students have gone through, and you take over the PAC program, I mean, how do you feel God called you to this program, and how do you feel God is calling you to lead our students through this time with this PAC program?
It's a deep question, man.
It is. Especially when
I'm crying, like I feel like I'm a televangelist
moved
about
into
to
tears.
make an appeal, but pardon me. No, I think I'm kind of an outsider to the field of peace studies. That wasn't what my doctorate was in, but I did study relationships between Puritans and Native Americans on the frontier in the 17th century,
Okay.
and the relations that developed and how essentially these Europeans used scripture to justify all kinds of violence. My PhD dissertation is actually on King Philip's War, which is the bloodiest war in American history per capita population. Like people don't even know about it anymore, but it ripped. We weren't a country at this point, but indigenous peoples were, I mean, in some cases almost wiped out of places. It was just a really terrible event in our history. And so I think the Lord really prepped me there were days it's depressing, man. You read about little kids getting sold into slavery and like things that are just inhumane. And I remember going home sometimes thinking, why am I reading this? Like this is my job when I was a PhD student. My hope is that peacemaking, learning to grow and find holistic ways of negotiating the transformation of conflict. Man, I believe it's not fancy. I don't have big answers, but I do believe if we can start instilling that in the way we already do things, make it part of our kind of walk, make it part of our DNA, I think the fruit we will see will be great. We need help, man. We want people to get involved and start building where they're at. So yeah, man, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Hey, you did great, man.
Thanks, man.
Before we let you go, look into this camera.
Yep.
For those students who may have heard about the PAC program here during this, let them know how they can get involved.
Yeah, a number of ways, really. First of all, shoot us an email, pact@anderson.edu, P-A-C-T. We also have a minor on campus. You can do with pretty much any major. It's small enough where you can do a PACT minor, and we have 4 distinct classes that walk you through some elements of peacekeeping and peacemaking. So you can get with us that way through the registrar, really, and through your academic advisor signing you up. But otherwise, shoot us an email. But we'd love, we do a book study on Wednesday nights in Mocha Joe's. Or here's the biggest thing: if you have an idea, if anything that has been said resonates with you, and you just think, you know what, I think I could be a part. Maybe you're an athlete who thinks we need to have some conflict transformation within our team. Listen, we'll help. Like, we want to fund what you're doing, help you get in touch with people that can help. If you have a project idea, we'll help fund that. We're not doing it on our own. Like, we want to equip you guys to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
pact@anderson.edu.
Awesome stuff. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Cheers, man.
Appreciate it.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Jason Varner, Zach Wadley, this has been Hot Ones. Until next time, we'll see you later.